So, hello, welcome, everyone, back to the Uminekos,
Hello.
where we are right now in the kitchen, where lunch is ended.
Oh my god, I get to open this.
Yeah, take it away, boy. No one's died yet.
No
just
one's-
so we're clear.
I can either confirm or deny the death of anybody.
It was just tomato sauce on 6 characters' faces.
I agree with that. Tomato sauce, make up, put a little parsnip on there, cook them up real good.
That's
anyway,
right. Wait, we're cooking people?
Anyway,
That's-
lunch ended.
Hold on.
Lunch ended, and the servants removed the tableware and went to the kitchen. The wind and rain neither weakened nor strengthened, and the island remained cut off from the outside world. At first, it seemed as though Nazi planned to stop anyone from taking a step outside the room, but when it came time to prepare lunch, she finally realized this would be impossible. However, in order to avoid having anyone alone in the kitchen, she told the 3 servants to go together. Because of that, the servants were the first ones given the right to leave the stuffy parlor, which had been packed with 11 people. Since breakfast had immediately followed that terrible incident, preventing most of us from eating much, everyone tore into their lunches in silence. I will wash the dishes so you can rest for a while, Canon-kun Genji-san. Do you want something to drink? I don't need anything. Canon? I don't need anything either.
It's just all you, boy.
I'm okay with this. Let's go. I need to warm up my voice anyway. You two must have been so busy and so early in the morning. It's no wonder you're worn out. The only noise was that of Kumasawa washing the dishes, which resounded throughout the kitchen. Genji and Cannon sat in some chairs a short distance away, their eyes lightly closed. Just as Kumasawa had said, those two had probably built up a great deal of fatigue, but that didn't mean they could let it show in front of the relatives. Avoiding that was one of their virtues. After the silence had continued for some time, Cannon opened his mouth and muttered, Shannon, why did she have to die in such a horrible way? Forget about the manner of her death.
Oh boy, that tune.
It was nothing more than bad luck. You're right. It was nothing more than bad luck. They both fell silent once again. Cannon's expression was filled with grief. To think that Shannon Chan's actually dead. I still can't believe it. This will be Kumasawa. Poor thing. Not being able to see her again feels like a lie. I just want to see her smiling face one more time. Kumasawa spoke with her back facing them. After all, Kumasawa hadn't seen Shannon's corpse, so she had no trouble mentioning Shannon's face.
Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah. Want me to pause?
Keep going.
Oh, okay. When Cannon heard those words, it's just me and you, audience. It reminded him again of how only half of Shannon's face had been left, and his grieving expression twisted even further. Why did Beatrice-sama do that to Shannon? She wanted a sacrifice, so there were plenty of others to choose from. Why? It was nothing more than bad luck. If we were less lucky, you or I might have been lying out there instead of Shannon. Or it could have been someone else entirely. Everything is left to fate. They're talking about fate.
They're talking about fate, my goodness.
Yes.
I feel so unprofessional having to take a phone call in the middle of a recording session.
Just turn off your damn phone. Oh my goodness.
Unfortunately, Ben, that was our food.
Oh, I guess we do have to eat at some point. Genji-sama, you said the door to Madame's room was stained with traces of something like blood, right?
Something like blood.
The same substance that was painted on the shutter. Indeed. It was an unsettling mark. Almost as though someone with blood-stained fingers had been trying to pull out the doorknob. No, scratch through the door. That sort of unpleasant mark.
You know, that sort of thing when bloody hands, it happens all the time.
I've definitely seen it before. So does this mean Beatrice-sama came to visit Madame's room? And tried to open the door, but couldn't? Fuck. It's all red. I'm all nervous. Genji thought back to the time he had seen those traces of blood.
Arrow.
It's great. I love the effect. Traces of blood on the door to Natsu's room. With the substance sticking to the door around the doorknob and the marks of something scratching against the door, it had definitely appeared as though someone had tried to open the door, but couldn't. How did the madam avoid being chosen as a sacrifice? If only she'd been chosen, Shannon wouldn't have had to die.
I mean, that's a pretty broad assumption. Also, very rude.
He's just talking about his mistress, or his master, mistress? Anyway.
Either way.
Either way, look, if Nazi had been gotten, she'd been eaten by the witch, you know.
But what if Goda had survived?
What if Goda had survived, guys? What if the best character who will save all of us had survived?
Us?
Why?
Is this an elaborate plot for you to set up killing me now?
No comment. That microphone there's a very hefty blunt instrument. Anyway, just then a loud, sharp noise came in from the hall. Both of them turned around, surprised.
It's not that heavy.
Oh, this is you. Get in there.
That's a pretty interesting chat you're having there. Let me join in too.
You sure?
No, it's third person.
That's true. Before any of the servants realized that Battler was standing in the doorway to the kitchen. Battler-sama, how rude of us. Genji-san and Kanon-kun stood up, surprised, and hastily bowed. Told you.
But I didn't care about stuff like that.
God
Listen,
damn
the
you.
3 dots are leading into the narration. That's the point.
Sure,
It is
sure.
quality authorship.
Whatever. Quality authorship. Don't talk about that to me. Keep going.
I read in this book called Higurashi.
3 dots mean it's moving into a monologue, alright?
I was more concerned with their continuing discussion.
Oh, God.
I told them I was going to the bathroom, so they let me go. So, he's clearly the murderer because he's been allowed to go out on his own.
That's true. He was allowed to, like, walk around
Yeah.
and do things. I
That's
can be
pretty
confirmed on
suspicious.
my Battler's capacity to murder people.
That would be such the Swifty. I would be so happy if the book pulled that on me.
I can either confirm or deny Battler as a murderer.
I thought I'd suffocate if I was locked up in that room any longer. I was about to come ask you guys for some water, but then I overheard something pretty interesting. You don't need to bow your heads or anything. Please, let me hear the rest.
That just now wasn't really...
I've been listening to you for a while because
You
I am a
sly.
sociopath.
You sly motherfucker. Battler, come on.
Come on, man.
Oh my
Don't
God.
try to hide it now. So I'll ask directly.
Oh, God.
Who is this Beatrice?
Ah! Actually, I know what... Keep going, please.
She's supposed to be a witch from a kid's story, but it doesn't look that way now.
Dots.
Dots.
Uh.
Kanon-kun averted his gaze. It was obvious that he didn't want to talk about this, which only made me want to ask even more. What was that sound?
Well, just keep reading. He grabbed the collar of his shirt. That was the, like
Right.
punching sound.
That's a weird sound for... Hold on, let me grab your collar.
I don't. Definitely made a sound.
Definitely made a sound.
Oh, God.
While making an effort to smile, I grabbed the collar of his shirt. Last night, that would have been none of my business. But after this morning, everything's changed. Now that Dad and the rest have been killed, this is totally my business.
Damn straight.
I have the right to listen to the suspicious story, don't I?
Yeah, as the detective.
That's right.
Checking for clues.
That's, Everyone knows that Battler is the detective.
Yes.
They've all been reading up on their Umineko.
It's true. They know what's going on. They're like, you're the detective. I'll tell you what you want to know, fam.
I glared into Cannon's eyes as he continued to avert his gaze in apparent pain. Since there was a big difference in our heights, Cannon had to stand on his toes and it looked like it hurt a bit.
Battler-san, please let go of him. Cannon-san isn't really hiding anything.
And you won't have any problem with talking about it, right?
Oh, God.
It's lonely being out of the loop, you know? When I tried to further twist up his collar, Genji-san cut between us and spoke. In his expression were faint traces that he'd made up his mind to do something. Apparently he had no intention of hiding it.
I can tell you about it. Cannon only hesitated because you might have taken it badly, Battler-sama.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Hesitating, huh? Not very manly of you.
Damn.
Whatever it is you're talking about is even more unpleasant than keeping it a secret. Tell me about it. It's not like we have anything better to do before tomorrow comes. A slightly spooky story might be the best way to avoid getting bored. Ah, yes, because 6 murders just really leads to boredom.
Totally. It screams boredom and horror stories around the campfire. There was this one time that these 6 people were killed and ended up in a garden shed. A bit awkward. Oh, God.
Genji-san and Kanon-kun looked at each other, then nodded as though they'd decided to talk.
Understood. Please ask us anything. We will talk.
Right. Then I'll ask.
Oh,
Who in the world is Beatrice?
great question.
All I know is that she's a witch who lives in the forest of Rikenjima. I've heard it's a story grandmother or someone invented to keep people out of the dangerous forest. Is that wrong?
No, it isn't wrong. It's as you say. Beatrice is a witch who dwells in the forest of Rekenjima.
Hold on, there was a whole other part of that sentence that Canon just didn't address. Part about it being made up.
I mean, we're gonna learn a little bit of this scene about being made up, or perhaps not being made up. It's gonna be interesting.
I'm excited.
I'm excited. Battler-sama, I don't expect you to believe this all of a sudden, but Beatrice-sama exists. Fucking nailed it.
Well, there we go. Black magic is real. It's time to cut. Time to start making some theories.
She is a real person, the one who gave the master a vast amount of gold, and who worked by his side for many years.
Huh? Oh, come on. Is grandfather paying you to repeat everything he says? I laughed like it was a joke. That does not look like laughter. That is not a face of laughter.
He is very nervous. That is a nervous laughing face.
But neither Genji-san nor Kanon can laugh. Not even Kumasawa-bachan, who was avoiding my eyes, flustered as she started watching...
Watching the dishes, yes.
Washing the dishes.
Yes.
I, for whatever reason, I thought it said as if she started washing the dishes.
As if, because she's not actually, because she's so nervous.
Yeah, of
She's
course.
just smashing plates
So
in the background.
unfortunately, I was the only one laughing.
Hey!
Painfully. Bitterly.
Ooh.
I see, that's why Genji-san refused to mention it. You really mean it. Of course, I'd take it badly. So you're saying that a person named Beatrice actually exists? Yes, there are probably several of them. Especially outside of Japan, where it's not that uncommon of a name.
Definitely. Yes, she has been working for the master since before the mansion was built on this island. She has most likely been working for him even longer than I have.
What do you know? Kairi-san's theory was off.
Yeah, her theory was that Beatrice didn't exist. Because it was illogical. It was a contradiction to have a 19th person on the island. Like, they would have made their presence known already.
Grandfather really did have a confidant called Beatrice. Is that person on the island now?
Yes. I believe that she's here.
It's a vague way to say it. I guess that means you haven't seen her face today or yesterday.
That is correct. It is extremely difficult to say, but,
Kanon once again dropped his gaze, avoiding my eyes. Come on, don't just stop there. It's like freezing an inch before the blow, right?
Oh!
I urged him on jokingly again.
Keep going.
However, it looked like Kanon was still confused as to whether he should speak or not. And Kumasawa-chan whispered,
Oh. You cannot see her face, because Beatrice-sama has no form.
It felt a little over the top.
No way. This music speaks otherwise.
She has no... What did you say?
Beatrice-sama has no body. Therefore, unless Beatrice-sama wishes it, common people like us are not able to see her form. I have heard that the portrait shows what Beatrice-sama looked like back when she had a human form. It seems he yearned for that figure so much he would often stand in front of that portrait. Beatrice-sama sometimes shows herself by changing her form into littering butterflies. On the rare occasion that you spot them somewhere in the mansion, there is a rule that you absolutely mustn't chase after them. It is whispered that you will meet with disaster if you do. In fact, there was a servant who broke that rule and quit because of a great injury.
Well, my question is, did we see Shannon actually chase after the butterflies? Or did she hide? I thought she hid.
I don't recall precisely. Butterflies show up. I think that she just got, like, caught by them. I don't think she got the chance to run. Or we weren't shown it, at least. She was like, oh, what are those? And butterflies came towards her.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Wait a sec, are you kidding me? Are you all serious about this?
Battler-sama, Beatrice-sama has already arrived. Such language may be unwise. Beatrice-sama does not like it when she is profaned. If you doubt her existence, you will surely meet with disaster. Battler-san, you probably find this topic unpleasant, but you know what? Beatrice-sama does exist. She exists. Beatrice-sama hates people who doubt that. Can't you tell, Battler-sama? Beatrice-sama has already arrived here.
Come on, quit it. I'm weak against that stuff. Enough with the cheap threats. However, there was no trace of a joke in the eyes of the three servants. On the surface, I laughed and tried to look unconcerned, but I was quickly starting to sober up. Their eyes were also sobering up fast.
Battler-san, I beg that you stop profaning Beatrice-sama. Please, trust me.
Kumasawa-chan, who was usually cheerful and would always tease people, now spoke with a totally serious face. Well, even if you say she exists, I don't see anything. That's what they said, you dummy.
Yeah.
Are you trying to say she's standing right next to me or something? In before she is. Quit joking around. Here we go. Is this the Beatrice reveal? Is it gonna happen?
No.
Oh.
It's
That's a little disappointing, actually.
okay. This is you.
Here it comes. I'm waiting for the tune to hit.
Hold on. Where is that piano?
There it is.
There it is.
Just then, that unnerving laugh suddenly filled the kitchen. When I turned around, Maria was standing there by the entrance. But her expression and the feeling about her presence felt exactly the same as the servants.
Ugh. Whether your wavelength matches or not is determined at birth. Battler, you were born with a mismatched wavelength.
What the fuck does that mean?
That's why you can't see her.
What does that mean?
That's why you can't meet with her.
What does that mean?
And that's why you can't talk to her. You're the type Beatrice hates the most.
Maria laughed like it was funny, but it sounded extremely eerie. It was almost like she was laughing at me because I alone didn't understand.
Do you want to know about Beatrice? Beatrice is a 1,000-year-old witch. With all of the demons at her command, she can harness the power of alchemy to create the Philosopher's Stone and a vast quantity of gold. Grandfather built up all the vast wealth of the Yoshimiya family by making a contract with her. Yesterday, I read Beatrice's letter, didn't I? That was real. Well, I guess it's pointless for me to try to force you to believe. After all, it looks like you were born without a trace of the sixth sense.
What are you talking about? Also, ooh.
Ooh? No oohs.
Witches? Demons?
Oh,
Who
God.
told you about that?
Don't.
it the new ooh?
I heard it from Beatrice herself.
Oh boy. Maria kept doing that unpleasant laugh.
It's pretty unpleasant.
It is pretty unpleasant. However, the servants who watched over this didn't even blink. She heard it from that witch in the portrait adorning the entrance hall. Maria kept on laughing in a weird voice as though this was nothing more or less than the truth. Maria, it might be rude to ask, but I'll ask one more time, okay? Who gave you that letter yesterday?
I got it from Beatrice. How many times must I tell you before you understand? You don't get it, do you? You can't see it.
You
can't believe it, can you?
That is, in fact, what she just said.
Mm-hmm. She'd just jump on a broomstick and fly away.
I wish. Just then, Maria's laughter suddenly stopped.
Battler, you still don't understand. Beatrice-sama exists.
She exists, you say, but where?
Like I said, Beatrice-sama exists here.
It's really uncomfortable, that sound.
Yep.
That's right. Now that I think about it, I've been feeling for a while that the servants' eyes haven't been pointed in quite the right direction. Oh! Fuck!
Yep.
I figured they were just staring absent-mindedly, but that wasn't the case. The four here, Genji-san, Kanon-kun, Kumasawa-san, and Maria,
Yep.
everyone except me, was looking at a spot right behind me. Holding my breath tightly, I slowly looked over my shoulder. Here it comes!
Don't do it.
Of course, there wasn't anyone there!
No.
I've known the whole time!
Yeah, there's no one there.
However, everyone in the room except me was focusing on that point as if there was someone there. As if there was
some kind of witch just standing there.
Just standing there.
That he can't see.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Oh. That made me feel genuinely uncomfortable.
It's great. Beatrice is the mighty golden witch who has lived for 1,000 years, but since she can't show her form to humans of the wrong wavelength, she can't talk to them. And you know what? That's really sad. It means she truly despises it when people like you, who are born without a fragment of the ability needed to sense magic, deny that she exists. You're a lucky battler. Good thing I gave you that charm yesterday, right? Don't you realize what kind of curse Beatrice would have put on you by now if you hadn't been carrying that around? You really are a lucky battler.
Oh, I have to see what that face looks like in the new images. Oh! Jesus! Put it back! Put it back!
Thank you! Oh my god, no! Don't ever do that again.
I'm gonna do that all the time.
No! Why?
Oh, that scorpion keychain. I thought that was just some cheap gift or something, but are you saying it really had some power?
If it weren't for that, you'd be lying in that storehouse as a sacrifice with your face crushed by now. You're so lucky, battler.
I see. So if it weren't for that, I'd have been killed by now.
Battler, why don't you believe in Beatrice? Even though she exists. Right now, over there, look. Hey, I'll bet you want to believe it now. Believe it, and thank me for giving you that charm. If it weren't for that, you'd be in the storehouse right now.
I'm so glad we're saying this again.
You would have saved someone else in exchange, right? Yeah.
Right then, I burst into laughter. Playing witches had been pretty fun up until a second ago, but unfortunately that last one seemed to be too much for me to gloss over. And it's all useless, isn't it, Maria? If that's true, then I'm sorry, but it's all useless. When Maria saw me suddenly start laughing, she stopped. Even though she didn't understand what I was laughing at, she realized it wouldn't be pleasant for her. I thought it might hurt you, so I didn't say it earlier, but... well, I thought I'd put that charm you gave me in my pocket. You must have dropped it somewhere.
Oh!
So the charm can't be the only reason I'm alive now. Even though I should have been cursed by the witch, I'm perfectly fine. Sorry, but I don't believe in things I don't see with my own eyes.
Damn.
Sixth senses, wavelengths, magic sensitivity. Sorry, but I don't believe in fake stuff like that. When I hear the girls in class start talking about how good or bad their ability to sense the supernatural is, it pisses me off. I don't know how much grandfather is paying you, but if you're trying to talk me into joining some cult, believe me, you won't be able to do it that easily.
Please join the cult of Beatrice. Butler Summer.
You guys are free to believe whatever you want. However, when it comes to the things I believe, the one who decides is always me. Sorry, but I can't believe in something as shady as Beatrice until I've seen her with my own eyes. I spoke forcefully and sharply. Then Maria started cackling again.
Well, that's just fine, isn't it? Eventually, even people like you with totally mismatched wavelengths will be able to see Beatrice. Very soon, she'll revive. Beatrice will revive. Once that happens, she's promised to talk with me and play with me a lot. There'll be absolutely no need for you to doubt or for us to force you to believe. She'll appear very soon.
So if I'm understanding correctly, Granddaddy Shirimiya is on the wrong wavelength, which is why he's like, want to see your face again, gal.
Maybe. It's not a terrible theory. I like it. We'll have to find out.
We'll have to find out next time on...
Creepy Maria!
Ah!
Yeah. Oh, I love that scene. Yeah!
Oh my god.
I love that scene so much.
That was surprisingly tense.
Yeah, totally. I blame the music. I just want to say, all of the servants and Maria look at the same spot, like, confirming that Beatrice is there. Like, I love it. Love that scene.
Well, now that we have relative to 100% confidence that black magic is real, it's time to start actually making some theories.
Do you want to throw something at me right now?
Nah.
Let's make some theories, just not right now.
I said it's time to start making some theories, not to start having some theories. Come on.
Those of you who would like to make theories, throw them in the comments. I need to confirm or deny any of them. Fact.
That's right.
Possible fact.
Can you just, when we upload this, can you just go in and reply to every comment with I need to confirm or deny, and then the entire comment again?
Yes, I absolutely will. It'll be great. Oh, I'm so excited for that to happen. No, I think we're away from...
It's like, this episode is shit. I can either confirm or deny. This episode is shit.
Straight. I'm doing it. Oh, God. All right, let's continue. with the creepy shit.
After a meal, you.
I think this is me, yeah. After a meal, some people tend to head to the bathroom while others prefer to relax for a bit.
While others prefer to play creepy fucking games.
Yeah, some of them prefer to confirm the existence of witches. It seemed that several people had left the parlor, just like I did when I went to the kitchen to drink some water.
So it's me.
This is you.
In the end, Aunt Natsuhi reluctantly retracted her order that everyone remain packed into the parlor, on the condition that no one headed out on their own or strayed too far. In any case, if 11 people are shut up in the same room starting early in the morning, the air will start to stagnate.
Oh, good, they're splitting up. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Also, quite some time had passed, so everyone was starting to recover from the shock of that morning, and the sense of danger might have been weakening too. However, it was certain that 6 people had been killed inside this mansion.
That window.
So no one was completely negligent. So whenever they went out into the hallway for a breath of fresh air, trying to act tough, they would quickly get scared of standing there isolated and would eventually return to the parlor. I guess it's like the north wind and the sun.
Oh, they're bringing that up again.
If you force someone to stay shut in, they'll resist, but if you tell them to do whatever they want, they'll come back obediently. People really do like not doing what they're told. When the servants finally finished cleaning up from the meal, they returned obediently to the parlor, just as Aunt Natsuhi had told them to, and sat on a sofa near the entrance, patiently awaiting orders. Maria, almost as though she had suddenly finished playing witches, had returned to the pure Maria I knew well, saying,
Ooh. I'm Maria. I'm not creepy at all. I just say ooh a lot.
Not at all.
I have this weird crown on my head.
Not creepy.
Okay, let's talk about that crown and how it stays on her head, and I don't understand how. It must be like clipped in, her hair.
I mean, that was just the assumption I was going with.
Still, I love it.
I mean,
anyway.
That's just how a lot of crowns work.
That's true. They get clipped in your hair.
Well, I guess tiaras mainly.
Yeah, that's true. Tiaras.
I don't know. I don't really wear crowns.
I wish. Can you buy... Look, I'm saying, someone could buy me a tiara. I don't know who. Just anyone. I can't afford one, but if you can just buy me one.
Yeah, just buy one.
Just buy me one.
What in the world happened back there? I hadn't felt even an atom of the presence of this person called Beatrice, who was supposedly standing with really uncomfortable music behind me, invisible.
Because of the wavelengths, you dummy.
The wavelengths. Yeah, you dumb. However, it felt like I glimpsed a little of that presence inside Maria. Ooh, that was a wind chime.
You're right. When Maria starts talking about witches, her personality changes. Pat Lacoon, you also saw it down by the beach yesterday, right?
You mean that scorpion keychain? I don't mean like when her feelings were hurt. I'm talking about her having a dual personality or something. I'm assuming at this point, the wind is a specific audio cue for something happening in the background.
Oh.
Because it's also in the wind chimes just there. I feel like it probably means something that definitely has nothing to do with witches.
I'm sure it's fine.
Nothing to do with magic.
I'm sure that magic and witches definitely do not exist.
That's right.
Although I can neither confirm or deny that as a true opinion.
I feel like we've kind of confirmed that at this point. Yeah, that happens sometimes too. That thing Maria did when she was talking about the magic circle does happen every now and then.
Yeah.
You know, it's really weird. We just have this cousin who just has split personalities. But
it's very strange.
We got used to it. I mean, she told us she was going to sacrifice us all, but
we didn't listen.
It's just Maria.
She's just 9 years old. What could she possibly be capable of?
It's freaky, though.
Yeah.
Apparently, Jessica had spotted that Maria a few times. I just happened to catch it at a bad moment and was pretty freaked out seeing it for the first time. But it wasn't the first time. So what is that? Does Maria have a dual personality or something? Or are you saying that her spiritual sense really is that strong and she's being possessed by a spirit or whatever?
No, I don't think it's that. Haven't you ever experienced it? When you were small, didn't you ever want to be someone other than yourself?
When humans are born, no one has any individuality. However, when they reach their growth period, their sense of self starts to be born. They want to be different than other people. But since everyone else is in their class is learning the same things at the same rate and being forced into the same lifestyle, of course they aren't going to find anything that makes them different from everyone else around them. Once they realize that, the first thing they do is start breaking the rules in what's called the Rebellious Stage. Since everyone else follows the rules, they want to show off their individuality by breaking them. So even those who try to act tough, mocking everyone around them and calling them childish, can actually be viewed as cute kids searching for themselves, if you look at it this way. Well, I'm lecturing about all this like I'm so smart, but I actually got it secondhand from George Aniki.
Yeah.
I myself was one of those embarrassing guys who thought it was all cool to act like a little bastard. Well, that was when I was at an age where you try to show off the opposite sex.
Damn. The main feature of the growing period lies in the impulse to break away from your life as a kid, like a chick trying to creep open the shell of their egg. Do you know what makes children and adults different?
Age? Or do you mean size?
Experience? No, it's experience. Nailed it. I remember this. Adults can look down on children because children have very little life experience. The reason they store everything children say is because they think kids know nothing about the real world.
Yeah, I understand that. When you're a kid, you talk like you've got life all figured out somehow, trying to act like an adult. No matter what kids say, adults just snort at them and they say they're too naive or that they'll understand when they get older or something. It's probably true, but to a kid, it's just annoying, like they're being looked down upon. I get it. It's a question of knowledge and experience. Well, I guess you're right that there's no reason to respect a person for their age if they've just wasted their lives.
Therefore, during the period when they try to separate themselves from other children, they also try to take on personality traits different from those around them. And if knowledge and experience is what separates kids and adults...
I get it. If they know something no one else knows, it becomes part of their identity. You know, when I was in elementary school, I'd learn things no one else knew. Get things no one else had and wear things no one else wore and became a bit of a hero for it. I'll bet you've done the same thing, Bettler. Yeah. There was definitely an age when I wanted to excel in some skill or other. I see, so that's because I was trying to separate myself from being a child or going through my own growing period, in other words.
If you put a positive spin on it, the growing period forces you to separate yourself from others by pushing you to gain skills and knowledge no one else has. This is also interesting from a sociological standpoint, because people hate being like everybody else, they try to learn skills other people don't know. In this way, society can acquire the broad range of skills it needs to survive. The quality of the gods' programming is truly surprising. Confirmation of gods.
Confirmed. Georgian is clearly the expert.
It's true.
Well, unique personality traits can also be negative, right? Like if, say, everyone in the class was studying hard, but I was the only one slacking off, trying to stand out. Okay, that last bit was really true about me.
God damn it,
I can see that coming.
Battler!
I can see that coming.
What if I was someone who mouthed off in class and didn't study?
What if I was a dumbass?
What if I made fun of little kids and bullied them? No comment, Battler. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
It's only recently that I've been able to thank the middle school teacher who slapped me after school. That's,
wow, okay.
Wow.
I don't know if that's okay.
But, well, I try to jump over things no one else could. Sprint as fast as I could, trying to lap those guys with good grades when we did a marathon. I just felt like doing it. It was in my nature that if I couldn't study well, then at least I could get back at them by exercising. No wonder he's got them sweet abs.
Sweet abs?
I can't wait for the
shirtless, the beach episode?
Yeah, the beach episode.
God. Episode 9, the beach episode.
The beach
can't
episode.
Wait. Can't wait for it.
So, is that a confirmed no beach episode from 2 to 7? Or 2 to 8, rather?
2 to 8? What if this is the beach episode?
Oof.
There was a beach earlier.
We did technically go to the beach, but they also wore their dress shoes
it's
to
true.
the beach.
There were no swimsuits or abs or anything of that sort. I'm a bit disappointed, really. They're letting the fans down. Not enough fan service. Come on, guys.
I really did go through a proper growth period.
Okay.
I guess boys really do tend to focus more on physical stuff.
That's a little sexist.
But you know, girls of the same age tend to focus more on mental, spiritual things, like checking their chakra. What? I'll bet there were groups of girls in your class that got really interested in fortune telling and their spiritual senses. Yeah, there were. He'd come over asking me for my sign and blood type, and then they'd laugh. Thought so.
Giggle.
Giggle.
Yeah.
It really got on my nerves. No matter which class you go to, girls like fortune telling. Oh god.
It's true.
Deciding whether your spirit sense is strong or weak, what your sensitivity is, whether you can see the unseeable, that kind of thing definitely happened to me.
All women
see the unseeable.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah. What? We're just implying that women can see Beatrice and men can't. Is what we're being told here.
So, does that confirm that Genji and Cannon
are actually just total ladies? Yeah, that's true. Fact.
I can't wait to see them in the beach episode. Suddenly, just massive anime tatas.
Oh, I'm so excited for that. Look.
It's gonna be great.
Look, if they don't look like they can poke someone's eye, I'll be disappointed. Anyway, let's get going. That's because fortune telling and spiritual senses are things that aren't taught in school. To girls, who tend to be more introverted, it's a genre that's easy to build an identity upon, one that holds a lot of interest for them. Little sexist.
Just like how when boys enter their growing period, they start acting tough and rebellious against adults. When girls enter their growing period, they start getting interested in that kind of thing. Well, I didn't though.
Oh.
So Maria having so much interest in the occult isn't that rare among girls her age? Even if we accept that, I wonder if it explains that creepy dual personality thing. Actually, I think it probably could accept that explanation more or less.
As you just said, becoming an adult means gaining knowledge and experience. So, to gain that, it's necessary for children to learn all sorts of things and break free from childhood. However, there are certain convenient delusions that you see often in the world of children, both now and in the past. Do you know what I mean?
You see it all the time in manga and anime, right? Particularly this one I read called Higurashi.
Yep.
I saw it's kind of like, and I was expecting Higurashi.
It's kind of like Higurashi no Nakuni, also is when the Sakai's great, but now on Steam.
What a great visual novel.
Chapter 5 just released on Steam, go get it.
Did it really?
Yeah, it did.
Just released.
At time of recording, unless we're in the future, in which case it might be episode 6
I mean, but like...
What?
They can...
It's a re-release, let's be clear.
Okay,
it's a re-release. It originally came out in 2002, I believe. 2003? 2002, yes.
When did the first episode come out in Steam for Higurashi?
About a year ago.
Okay, that's pretty pathetic.
Yeah. Anyway, it's fine. We're just waiting for the last 3.
That's right. Wait, who's talking? Like you got memories from a previous life that started to resurface. Like you're being possessed by the soul of a great something or whatever.
Oh, this is so good.
Possessed by the soul of a great something not related to plot.
Not related to plot.
Definitely not.
Can you confirm on in relation to plots?
Or it could be that sleeping gene gets awakened. Or maybe a sealed power or memory returns. There's all kinds. For some reason, stuff like that's really popular at that age.
Yeah.
Why is that?
All of those examples you just mentioned are illusions that let children immediately add to their sum of knowledge and experience. If a 9-year-old girl says she has a 1,000-year-old witch possessing her, then she gains 1,009-year-old identity.
I'm glad that math works out.
Is that how that works? Oh god. This is great.
So basically, studying is annoying, but these delusions are convenient for people who want to brag about having a skill no one else has, amazing the people around them.
Yeah, so we're saying that Maria just wants attention. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
In the middle of this murder mystery, of course.
So you could brag about something without having to work hard or study. I see. Isn't that a kid's greatest dream?
Furthermore, in their desire to separate themselves from being kids, they always project an image of their ideal self, and if it's not that rare for their desired self to become an alternate personality. Even you, Petlakun, probably had a slightly different personality at home and at school, right? It'd probably be embarrassing for your friends at school, so how you were at home. At school, you try to protect yourself as you want to be, project yourself rather, but home is where you're your true self.
So in other words, I'm changing my personality depending on the situation. Are you trying to say having multiple personalities is actually really common?
Real talk, this isn't that crazy of an idea. This is just performativity. It's like, I mean, it's psychology, obviously.
Yeah.
But like the idea of like performing differently for different people in different situations is not that crazy.
No.
Maria just seems as a very extreme example.
A girl who's a fan of the occult might say she's being possessed or awakened. Honestly, there are some kids who change their personality so much it's creepy. And some boys do it too, right? Guys who say they've blown their top and suddenly turned into some overplayed violent character. I'll bet they think it's pretty cool, but it's painful to watch. Let's sum this all up.
Yeah.
So you're saying that even if a girl about Maria's age shows a creepy second personality like she did a minute ago, it isn't such a rare or unusual thing.
Nah. Simply put, that's right. Identity is an important factor when building up one's sense of self. If you make fun of it, it could actually cause children to go back into their shells. So it's important to go along with them to some degree. Although the broad-mindedness of the parent determines whether they play along in full or not.
Nikki, I can't believe you're single. You sound like you've already raised kids through middle school.
A little soon, right? Oh my god.
So I wonder if... I only just put that together. That's actually pretty fucked.
I can't believe you're single. What, did your girlfriend die or something? The woman you just proposed to last night, did they die?
Oh, that's bad. Look at that smiling face. That is despair on the left. Oh my god. That just went straight over my head.
She got half her fucking face blasted off. It's a shame you're not in a relationship. Oh, God.
So I wonder if Aunt Rosa also knew much about Maria's dual personality.
I've totally ruined the mood. I apologize. Oh, God.
She knew about it. Just between us, Aunt Rosa really hated it. It's not like we had an entire scene where she was being abused or anything.
Look, at least she's dead now. Oh, God.
She said it was unpleasant and that Maria would become increasingly isolated from the rest of the class. So anytime Maria started talking about the occult or laughing like a witch, she'd slap her. And also when it looks like she was being innocent, she'd slap her.
Yeah.
And when she was being a
when
mother,
she was
she
sleeping,
slapped
yeah.
her.
Oh, God.
It looked like Maria stopped talking that way in front of her.
Ooh, the chandelier.
Maybe that thing back there
It's nice little
was just a
chandelier.
little game from a girl facing her own growing period. Just a girl trying to show that she was different and independent by holding interests in witches and the occult. And since she wanted to be different from herself, as she was switching between her normal personality and the personality of her ideal, a witch. At first I'd found that very disturbing, but after being lectured to by George and Iki, it felt like this was the path everyone walked down one time or another. I haven't told anyone, but when I was in kindergarten, I joined up with a little gang of kids trying to form an Earth Defense Force, saying we'd help protect peace on Earth.
EDF.
Is this a reference to something?
Yes! The Defense Force games, they have that song they sing. The something, something, something from Alien Attack. And they won't come back. Look, it's a good song. I don't know the words, but it's amazing.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
As soon as we get to this chapter, we're looking it up. And then I'm going to just sing it to you. See, EDF! EDF! It's amazing. It's a campy game about the Earth Defense Force.
Right.
Trust me, it's amazing. Somebody will put it in the comments. And if it's not someone, it'll be me. Not confirming or denying the existence of Felix.
My face turns red when I remember how during what we called battle practice we would chant EDF, EDF. Just like usual, Maria was relaxing.
Yep.
Immersed in the TV.
Ooh.
And laughing just like any girl I'd ever seen her age. But on the inside, another personality, that of the ideal which she respected and blindly accepted, was sleeping. That wasn't anything extraordinary. It was perfectly natural for a girl of her age. Just this
natural.
toing and froing about the supernatural bullshit.
It's great.
I've calmed down a little. I haven't! The shock from my bizarre experience in the kitchen is just now fading away. If I hadn't talked to Aniki and Jessica, I might still be frightened by the idea that an invisible witch is standing right behind me. However, I can really accept that as an explanation for what happened back...
Can I? Oh my god.
Can I really accept that as an explanation for what happened back there? I can read, I swear. If it had just been Maria, I could have explained it as the fickle delusions of a growing girl. But Genji-san, Kanon-kun, and Kumasawa-bat-chan had also been there. None of them had denied what Maria said. They silently accepted that Beatrice exists. I was starting to feel a little uneasy. Starting,
yes. Don't scare me like that.
Haneva's position was that there was... Haneva's position was that there was no 19th person.
Nailed it.
The crime was an inside job tied to the family quarrels. On the other hand, Natsui's position was that the culprit was hiding somewhere outside the mansion. So she rejected the possibility of an inside job.
Played it her own.
And supported the idea that a 19th person existed. And in the kitchen, Maria and the servants had also supported the idea of a 19th person. But according to them, the 19th person isn't human. They said it was an invisible witch carrying out some mysterious plan.
Oh.
Is there a 19th person or not? And is the culprit human or a witch? For some reason, I couldn't just laugh off any of those possibilities.
And I, of course, can neither confirm nor deny any of them.
Not even the most ridiculous story about the witch.
Uh-oh. What? Why is it fading? Oh!
Is that supposed to be time passing?
I think so. There was a clock sound, so I think that's what happened. Oh god. Well, anyway.
So many sounds going on right now.
It's great. I told you, this is a really cool... It's called a sound novel and not a visual novel. I'm excited.
Jessica, all I know about the story of the witch is that the adults made it up to keep the kids too scared to enter the forest. But is the story different here in the mansion?
Yeah, it's the same.
I feel the same way you do, okay? I think it was just a stupid ghost story that the parents made up so their kids would listen to them. But I can't confirm nor deny that the atmosphere inside the mansion makes it a little hard to say it out loud.
Son of a bitch. After all, grandfathers proclaimed that Beatrice exists, and because of their position, the servants can't doubt that. Even Uncle Kraus and Aunt Natsui don't want to get into a fight with him, so on the surface they go along with it. So it's probably fair to say that doubting the existence of Beatrice is taboo to those who live and work in this mansion. Unlike the rest of us, who only come here once a year. Is that right?
Jessica took a deep breath in admiration. It looked like Aniki had guessed right. It's just like you say. No one really believes it on the inside. But on the outside, they accept that she exists. See, it's just like the way some people are about God. Even if they know God doesn't exist, they feel like they'd be uncouth if they actually said it out loud. How do you think the servants feel about it? Are they just going along with it because grandfather, their employer, says she exists? Well, I don't really know the details. But between the servants, the story about Beatrice has been treated like a sort of ghost story. Remember yesterday when Shannon was talking to us down by the beach? That story about how one night when she was doing the rounds in the mansion, she saw something really unsettling? She did say something... Oh wait, no. No speech marks! She did say something like that, didn't she? Back then I thought she was just being really nice to help improve Maria's mood. But it felt like she was serious when she said it. That's right, she definitely said it. She definitely said the same kind of thing that Genji and the rest had unanimously declared back in the kitchen. In addition, some servants have also seen the will-o'-wisps and glittering butterflies dancing
This is Shannon's
around.
voice?
I know!
This is Shannon's voice? Alright.
But we're accounting it.
I guess so.
Cannon-kun also saw something like that when he went patrolling one night. And recently, you often hear the servants talking about strange footsteps heard inside the mansion near midnight. We've whispered together that Beatrice Samar in the portrait sometimes makes herself invisible and walks through the mansion. It happened a while ago, but even I've heard footsteps while patrolling at night that resemble those stories. That's right, she definitely said that. Exactly the same thing that I had been told just now. But there's nothing to be afraid of. Beatrice Samar is another ruler of this mansion, separate from the master. So there's no need to be unnaturally afraid. If you respect her, I hear she won't do anything bad.
Ooh. However, she can be quite terrifying if you don't respect her, right?
Do I have to change now, do I? Correct.
I mean, I think I should take these voices for George.
I've heard that just before I began working here, someone who spoke badly about Beatrice Samar fell down the stairs and quit after receiving a large injury to their back, which is also what the other servants said.
Yep.
Because of that, there was a rumor between the servants that Beatrice Samar's anger had been brought down upon this person. Oh boy. If you don't respect her, you'll suffer her wrath and get hurt. So to the servants, Beatrice's existence is just as credible as the story that if you pull pranks on Inari-san, you'll receive Kitsune-sama's curse.
That's not relatable to me. I'm sorry.
Hold on. When
What?
you say it's not relatable, do you mean you don't know what it is?
Inari and Kitsune. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that particular folk story.
Okay.
What?
Who are you? You're
I
supposed
don't
to be
know.
you're supposed to be the
I mean, I can look it up
the
if you like.
font of all knowledge
I
here.
wish I was. Look, I can look it up if you like, but I don't know.
What's
what
the classic King Tonabet line?
I don't know.
The
I'm not the cultured one here. All right.
something of all knowledge.
What was it? Inari and Kitsune. And Kitsune. Inari and Kitsune.
Wow.
Woo! Oh, it's from Okami, apparently. No, Okami is... Wait, hold on. Japanese kami of foxes, of fertility, rice, tea, and sake, of agriculture industry. Probably, yeah, so you're supposed to worship this fox person, Okami, from the game Okami. I think that's where it originated.
Of course.
So I thought that Kitsune meant fox, so I guess that Kitsune is like the other foxes. They're gonna come and eat you. I'm not 100% certain. Yes. They act as messengers for Inari.
I see.
Anyway.
Of course, even though everyone accepts that curses and the like don't exist in the modern era, people are still afraid and still have a little respect for them.
It's true.
You often see it when in a residential area, someone is building a house and they call a Shinto priest for a ceremony to honor the god of that plot of land. You might think that that was just a big waste of time and money, but it's said that if the workers don't do that, a big accident will occur, so they never neglect to do it. You also hear about how if an Inari shrine is carelessly removed during a town replanning, there'd be a curse by Kitsune-sama. I think I might have read somewhere that when the occupying forces were trying to expand an airport, they tried to remove an Inari's an Inari stand that was in the way. And the workers kept getting struck down by mysterious fevers. Even in modern cities like Tokyo, it wasn't rare to see modern buildings packed around an old Inari shrine, leaving the shrine itself untouched. And this wasn't limited to Japan. It's probably similar to how foreigners baptize babies. If I remember right, by Christian doctrine, if unbaptized souls have even the slightest amount of sin, they will still go to hell. Putting water on a child's forehead doesn't do anything but make them cry. If by doing that, parents can prevent their children from going to hell, they'll happily go through with that ceremony. In short, even in this modern society of reason, we are still unable to throw away every trace of belief and fear. You could even say that we accept certain sorts of supernatural things, though in a passive way. Maybe the only difference on this island is that Beatrice is the object of that worship. So in other words, if anything happens that doesn't seem explainable in human terms, it's called the work of Beatrice. I think Shannon Chan said it herself. Windows and doors. Why is... wait, hold on. Windows and doors...
Windows 10, yes.
What?
What?
Not the tangent I was going on.
Oh, okay.
Windows and doors and locks that were tightly shut would be open the next time you went to check them. Lights that should have been on went out, and lights that should have been out were turned on.
Yep.
And if I remember, even Jessica was joking about it, saying it was the work of Beatrice when she couldn't find her bag in the morning. Your memory's pretty good. Normally you would say some little imps took them, but on this island it's Beatrice. Well, it's all pretty stupid though.
Damn. This mansion's been saying for about 30 years by now, hasn't it? It's natural for things that old to get their fair share of ghosts and cult stories. Like the 7 mysteries at school.
But that's where I'll...
Oh!
Spin the chessboard around!
Spin that shit. Alright, let's spin it.
I was gonna use the reverb, but I realized I had it turned off.
God damn it.
God damn it!
It's fine. This is you.
Oh.
Oh!
Simply put, on this island, there's a rule that Beatrice gets blamed for anything that couldn't have been done by humans. Things that humans can't do. How many humans are here? 18.
The ones that are dead.
What? You're rather
12.
presumptive of you.
It's true. Very presumptive.
In other words, the culprit is using the rules of this island to make it look like a witch committed this crime, which proves that they desperately want us to think that the 19th person did it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. What do you mean you don't like it? Don't you like having 6 people you love as family members murdered?
And left in a garden shed and covered in blood and having their faces smashed in? Yeah.
Who's talking now? I looked away and I lost track.
It's Battler.
Let's assume some invisible 19th person exists and wants people to know they exist. If it were me, I'd do it with even more perfect timing.
What do you mean by perfect timing?
Well, crime took place sometime between the middle of the night and dawn, right? We had some people who were talking together until the middle of the night, some people on night shifts, and some people who'd returned to their rooms and were sleeping. Everyone's alibi is really vague, so there's plenty of room to suspect that the crime was an inside job. George and Iki, Aunt Ava probably told you too, right? And there's a good chance this crime was an inside job.
Yes. I guess.
That's a nervous face!
It is.
He's culprit!
Maybe. I can either confirm it or deny.
In other words, if this invisible 19th person really exists and wants to let us know it, this first crime was a complete failure. No, in the first place, they chose the wrong time of day to do it. If this invisible 19th person really wanted to show themselves, they had to make sure that the crime took place under conditions which proved that the remaining 12 people were all innocent.
It's in bold, so you know it's important. Just like how they all need a lot of money right now.
Right now!
Right now!
Right now! It wasn't turned off that time.
God damn it. Turn it on already.
I know, I said it wasn't turned off.
Oh, it wasn't turned off.
It was just quiet.
Alright.
Because I didn't want to take... I'm taking 15 seconds now to explain it, but I didn't want to take 15 seconds waiting for the reverb.
Please continue. Oh my god.
As long as there is a single human we can suspect, this 19th person's attempt to highlight their presence fails.
Oh god.
That's why near midnight, when everyone's alibis are at their vaguest, the 19th person's existence is also at its vaguest. And yet the culprit chose to commit the crime at that time. It's almost like disorder and chaos were part of the plan.
What? I can either confirm or deny. By committing the crime then, one of the 18 would obviously be suspected, and yet someone handed Maria the letter and called themselves a witch, even though everyone denies they did it.
In other words, you're trying to say that one of the 18 is trying to make it look like a 19th person called Beatrice exists? That's a pretty crazy idea. I think the mom's theory about someone hiding outside the mansion is a bit more credible. Battler, don't tell me you actually think someone is in this room is the culprit. I do. Someone's trying to force us to accept that Beatrice exists. That's right, this whole thing started as far back as the letter last night. I don't have any basis or proof.
Good.
But with the chessboard turned around, this is my best guess.
Fair.
Seriously, that's too crazy. You sure you haven't been reading too many weird detective novels?
Like Higurashi.
Like Higurashi?
Yes. However, it's an angle we can't ignore. Whether there's a 19th person or not, the culprit's definitely planning something involving that rule about this island. Just now, listening to Batlakun talk, I remembered something that's a little disturbing.
A little disturbing? Like 6 people being murdered?
Yeah, somewhere around
Something disturbing?
Yeah. Yes. Do you remember? Oh, here we go. Beatrice's letter. It said that Beatrice was going to collect interest, and by interest it mentioned everything of the Ushumiya family.
Jessica and I thought back on what Maria had read aloud that previous night. Yeah, it said that. It definitely said that. The collection of the interest was going to take place shortly, but if the riddle of the gold could be solved, she'd lose that right.
It's a good thing they're not trying to solve the riddle of the gold, eh? Grandfather received the gold and rebuilt the Ushumiya family. In other words, according to Beatrice, everything created using the gold's capital counts as part of the interest. Which means...
That's pretty scary for a joke, Aniki. You don't mean everything of the Shiramiya family. In other words, everything that Grandfather gave birth to. In other words, everyone with Grandfather's blood flowing through their veins.
If you interpret the letter that way, these murders are just Beatrice legitimately collecting interest. If that's the case, these crimes will continue, because the collection of interest is still only halfway completed.
George turned around looking over the parlor. There were still many people who held the name of Shiramiya. And because Goda-san and Shanin-chan had been killed, we knew that not even the servants were safe, despite lacking the Ashiramiya name. So are they planning to kill us all?
Probably.
That's weird, George Nisa. In that case, why only 6 people? They should have been able to kill a lot more. At worst, it should be possible for them to assault everyone while they were sleeping and kill them in a single night. Why didn't they do that?
Special clause. If someone manages to solve the riddle of the gold, their right to the interest will be lost. And remember how the letter ended. It challenges us to solve the riddle of the gold, of Grandfather's gold.
Jesus. Looks like we're finally understanding the culprit's message. In other words, the culprit's telling us to try and solve the riddle on that epitaph Grandfather made.
So go do it, you nerd.
On top of that, they're saying that if we just sit around, they'll keep collecting the interest.
Right now!
Right now! I realize this is all based on several guesses that are way out there. But not everything that happens in this world fits together in a perfect line. Most of the events we don't understand are only individual points. By fitting them into a straight line, we're beginning to understand. When the points at either end of the line are really close, the line itself is more logical and easier to understand. And when those points are really far away, the opposite is true. If the distance between these points makes us say our guesses are way out there. However, if the distance we span are too narrow, that means our thinking will be too narrow. Is there a difference between making guesses and reasoning? Am I just using easily made guesses to try and force this crime into a pattern I can understand? Definitely not. No, that's not it. When you're lost in the dark and searching around with your hands, what you're doing is relying on your imagination and making guesses. Only imagination can find the points that need to be tied together. Reasoning is nothing more than the act of drawing lines between them. If you can't imagine, you can't reason. What I'm doing now may be way out there, but I'm sure it isn't a mistake either. Only the power of imagination can pull clues from the darkness.
Metaphor. What? Continue, please.
Listen.
What?
And then I can use the power of reasoning to tie those clues together. It was a lot like the process of searching out an enemy's weak spot and striking. Like we did back in the ADF, whatever the hell that is.
That was Defense Force when we fought the giant aliens.
It's okay if I'm way out there. Find a weak point first, and we can think about how to strike. Right now is the time to find points we can tie together later.
Yep. Good work, Battle. Yeah. What about that rain?
This is the image that I was saying is confusing.
Why? There is gun, and this is...
I know, but like,
the outside of,
you remember when I was talking about it last
room.
week? It's like, it probably makes a lot of sense, especially without the rain filter on it. With the rain filter, it, like, at first looks to me like a hill.
Like a hill?
Yeah.
Maybe. I have to look at it again. We have to scroll back, even though we can't really do that. So.
Can't we?
Not
because
into the image. We have to load a
Right.
save. It's unfortunate.
For the time being, I put aside whether a 19th person existed, and announced our theory.
What?
And announced
You
our
okay?
theory that the goal of the culprit might have been to make us solve the riddle of the epitaph. Uncle Hideyoshi seemed to be extremely interested, but Aunt Natsuhi said it was ridiculous and dismissed it, despite everyone being there when Maria read the creepy fucking letter.
They told them all to go do the epitaph?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Of course. If you think about it that way, even the letter from yesterday makes sense.
See, he gets it.
That motive seems to fit pretty well with the
He
facts.
gets it.
Setting aside whoever it was that gave Maria Chan the letter.
Wait,
Ew.
he gets it. Does that mean it's him?
I don't know. I could either confirm it or deny. Ew. Beatrice exists.
Oh goodness, we're back to this.
Ew.
Even though she was puffing up her cheeks in that cute way she'd been doing since yesterday, I couldn't think of it as cute.
She's fucking creepy.
If I poked fun at her, it might suddenly transform into a creepy laugh.
Can't wait. There's no hidden gold, says the person who saw a bar of gold in their house. However, if the culprit is blindly sure of his existence...
Ben.
Yes.
I'm fairly certain she did promise to keep it a secret.
She did, but people have been murdered. Should she not be telling people there is a bar of gold in the house?
Well, I don't know, Ben. Have you ever had to solve a murder mystery in your family after
Not
being
yet.
told to keep a secret?
Not yet.
Do you reckon you would keep the secret or tell
Look,
the secret?
people are dying. 6 people have died, and people have weapons. She has
Maybe
a gun.
she knows what the problem is.
Maybe.
Maybe she's
Possible.
the culprit.
Maybe. I can either confirm or deny Natsui as the culprit. However, if the culprit is blindly sure of its existence, and if they're trying to make us solve the riddle before snatching the gold away from themselves, for themselves, then I will agree it makes sense. However, if that were the case, why would they start by killing those most highly ranked in the Shiromir family? I see your point. If they wanted to make us solve the riddle, killing those closest to Kinzo-san doesn't sound like a good plan to me.
But they didn't kill Genji.
It's true they didn't.
That's true enough. And if we're going with that argument, wouldn't it have been quicker to threaten father in the first place? I think it'd be faster to just ask the person who wrote it rather than try to force us to solve it.
Oh, this is good shit. You've got a point there. Still, I think it'd take more than your average threat to make father spill the beans. But anyone who knows Kinzo-san well would probably realize that he wouldn't bow to ordinary threats. He's the man who bears the responsibility for the entire Shiromir family and all its vast wealth. He's been exposed to many threats and attacks in the past. The family only prospers today because he was able to overcome all of them.
That's freaking right.
Get straight.
I can't even imagine our grandfather obeying someone because of a threat.
Jessica, what's your language?
Yes, Mom.
Yes, mother. Come with mother.
Comrade mother. In that case, what about this idea? No, wait. This one. Also way out there.
What's the idea, though? Oh my god.
I'm just excited because wasn't day 2 of the epitaph that they're gonna, like, split up the pair that were together?
That's true. That is the next line in the epitaph. The two that are together will be ripped apart, I believe is the exact words.
I'm excited.
Then
I'm excited to see whether it means physically ripped apart or emotionally ripped apart.
It's a great question. And then epitaph, the third Twilight is that those who remain shall praise my noble name. Which is interesting. Anyway, continue please.
I'd be concerned if you said it wasn't interesting. I couldn't hesitate. Out there ideas are like bows and arrows.
Oh god.
It might be hard to hit with, but it's a great weapon because you can hit enemies far away. They say most people who've died in battles were killed by arrow wounds. In a battle, you can't just shoot off one arrow. You shoot a whole bunch of arrows at once, pushing forwards towards the enemy troops with a wall of them. So keep shooting over and over. Create a wall as you push forwards towards the truth.
Okay.
If the culprit is after the hidden gold, forcing us to solve the riddle wouldn't be very efficient for them. It'd be much quicker and easier to ask the person who made it in the first place. In that case, the question is this all a message directed at Grandfather? In other words, these murders were all a threat made against Grandfather. If he didn't tell a culprit where the gold was, his family members would be killed off 1 by 1, or 6 by 6.
What? Yeah.
What if we weren't the only... But what?
Would Kinzo care is the question. Does Kinzo... Because we know he's missing right now. Like, they
Of
wouldn't
course
find
not,
him.
that's why he's fucked off.
Exactly. He's like left his room. We don't know where he is. And Bella's like, oh, but what if it's a bunch of Kinzo?
I do find it interesting, like, I'm assuming it's not Kinzo, but the fact that nobody seems to have even suggested Kinzo as a suspect when he's the only one missing is a little strange.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's true. Like, he could just be running around doing all these murders by his own hand.
Like, I assume it's not a thing, and I assume their assumption that it's not him probably has something to do with the fact that he's a weak old man.
Yeah.
But I still think it's weird that it hasn't even been raised yet.
Okay.
I might be wrong. I might be forgetting that it has been raised, but I feel like it hasn't.
I think that's an interesting way of thinking about it.
Because he seems like the obvious culprit when he's the one missing after 6 people have died.
Well, hopefully we'll find out where he is at some point.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Anyway, where were we? I don't remember where we were up to.
If he didn't tell the culprit where the gold was, his family members would be killed off one by one. What if we weren't the only ones being forced to solve this riddle? What if grandfather was too? I mean, that is also another obvious assumption. If you think about it, it explains grandfather's mysterious disappearance. If the culprit has already attacked grandfather, then judging by the state the 6 corpses were left in, he should have been left on display with somewhere with that horrible makeup added. But despite that, we still haven't found him. So does that mean grandfather's had been kidnapped and is being held somewhere?
Maybe. How could... You aren't saying... How could...
That sounds interesting.
That's what I said.
So grandfather's being confined somewhere. And the culprit's saying we'll be killed off one by one if he doesn't tell them where the gold is.
It pains me to imagine how you find that interesting.
And that's he glared at her, but Eva just smiled calmly.
Yeah, she's a bad. Since we still haven't seen him after all this time, I think it's almost certain that grandfather's gotten caught up in the crime. If you think about it, you can't just ignore Batlicon's theory, right? No, this is Ava.
Alright, yeah, because she abuses her
She's
son.
his mother, yes.
Be quiet, George!
Slap!
Wrecked. In the first place, when did father actually disappear?
Good question. Who was the last person to see father? It was probably me. This morning, when we didn't know where my husband and the rest were, we discussed the possibility of them being in father's study, and I went to check his room and greeted him there. Come to think of it, I've been holding the key to his study this whole time, haven't I? Genji, let me return this to you.
And Nessie pulled out the golden key and handed it to Genji. Looking at the key, Aunt Eva giggled. Hey Genji-san, I'm sure the police will inspect father's room thoroughly. If there's anything hidden there, it'll just be exposed anyway. So maybe it'd be better if you just told us about it right here, right now.
What are you talking about?
I feel like that's pretty obvious. It's simple. Father's study is a closed room with no way in or out except for that key, right? I want to verify whether that's true.
Closed room.
There is one entrance to father's study. What about the window? Any other entrances or exits?
There are none. There's no way to get in except the entrance.
You're sure about that? There isn't some secret hidden door or anything? Since father isn't here, I am the highest ranked member of the Ashiramiya family. I'm asking you as a representative of the Ashiramiya family head. Remember that when you answer me. Are there any ways in or out of that room other than the main entrance? As father's closest aide, I'm sure you would know. And Natsuhi looked a little offended at the part about highest ranked member.
God damn it.
But she kept her mouth closed for the time being and waited for Genji's answer. I couldn't help but feel a little uncomfortable. Why was she going on and on about hidden doors? You too, Canon-kun Kumasawa-san, if you know, won't you tell me? If there is one, it'd be better if you said so. Otherwise, a certain person might be driven into a corner in a second.
Oh my god.
My gosh. If we assume that there is a hidden door, then my argument comes to nothing. Aunt Eva didn't specify which person was about to be driven into a corner. But following the flow of conversation, I had to feel that she was referring to Aunt Natsuhi.
Mother, what are you talking about?
George, stay quiet for a bit. What did you say? Genji-san? Canon-kun? Okumasawa-san? Is there a hidden door? Or not? Genji-san, when you remodeled Father's study, you must have overseen the construction. I won't let you say you don't know.
There is nothing like that in the Master's study.
You're sure? What about Kanekun, one who's allowed to wear the one-winged eagle?
That's right. I'm sure. There is no such hidden door in the master's study.
Kumisawa-san?
No, I haven't heard of such a thing.
What about Dr. Nanjo? You had a close relationship with father?
I have never heard of something like that.
Very well then. So are you ready? Let me begin. It's very simple. Everyone tilted their head doubtfully, wondering what Aunt Ava was starting to talk about so proudly. Aunt Ava laughed triumphantly, as though she were about to reveal a secret only she knew. Oh boy. Natsui Nei-san was the last person to spot father, right? I forget the exact time, but I think it was a little before 9 o'clock in the morning. Nei-san, do you remember?
That fucking music. Ah!
I ran into you just as you were coming out of father's study, right?
Yes, I remember. What does that have to do with anything?
And when was the next time you went to visit father's study? That was after we found the bodies of Nissan and the rest, right? Together with me, you went up to the study to report that, and we discovered that he wasn't there. By the way, Nissan, at that time when you went to enter father's study, did you notice anything?
Notice anything? What are you talking about?
Come on. You picked up some trash, right? A folded receipt.
I do seem to remember picking up some trash. How is that relevant?
I got that receipt when I bought some candy at a store before arriving at the airport. Aunt Ava pulled a small bag of candy out of her handbag.
The receipt from that candy you bought back there. But Mother, what does that receipt have to do with anything? Bye, George. George, stay quiet and listen for just a bit longer.
Hold on. So before they tell us what's wrong with this...
Okay, sure.
So let me establish this in the timeline.
Okay.
So Natsuhi found when they re-entered the room...
Okay.
A receipt
Yes.
from Ava.
Yes.
Which meant that Ava had been in the room before.
Maybe. Well, she had been to the room, certainly, to put the thing in the door. Yes.
So what Ava is saying is that there is another door and she's used it.
We'll have to find out. I can either confirm or not exist of any other hidden doors.
I just wanted to make sure I had that straight in my head.
Okay, just so we know that's what your theory is, let's see what happens.
Hideyoshi's expression was a little strict. Apparently he understood what Aunt Ava was getting at. It really was just a whim. I definitely didn't foresee anything. Or try to set up a trap for Natsui Nei-san or anything like that.
God damn it, Ava. I love you.
Actually, about that receipt.
Marry me, please.
Nei-san, you remember bumping into me right after the last time you saw father, right? At that time, I wedged this into the door to the study.
Yep.
What is that sound effect?
The rain? Or the
Is
music?
it supposed to be rain?
Yeah, it sounds like rain. How is that not rain? Keep going! This is a tense bit! Oh my god.
So what does that mean?
We'll find out! Keep reading!
No, that's what it says! I did keep reading!
Oh, okay. Keep going!
Are you saying no one opened the door until Natsui picked up that receipt?
There it is. That's what she's saying.
Wait a second, Aunt Ava. Wedging a receipt in would be obvious. It's possible that when grandfather opened the door, he noticed it, found it amusing, and stuck it back in the door. Jessica hardly argued back. She still didn't really know what all this meant. But she realized that whatever it was, it would raise suspicions about her own mother. Of course, they folded the receipt up very small so that no one would notice it. But even if you assume that he saw it fall, you had no way of knowing how high up the door it had been stuck, right? I checked it while Natsui Nei-san was taking the key out. The receipt was still stuck not 1 millimeter away from where I put it.
I can't understand why you would pull such a childish prank. I'll bet you were the one who did that prank on the door to my room, too. The door to your room? It was unpleasant to talk about, so I never mentioned it. But when I woke up this morning, there were the signs of some prank on the outside of the door, with what was probably the same red paint that was scribbled across the shutter. There were some unpleasant marks, as though someone had been tearing at the door. Wait, what's this? Why'd you keep quiet about this until now?
So I like how she calls it paint.
Yeah. My apologies. Since so many horrible things have occurred since then, I'd completely forgotten about it until this moment.
That's suspicious.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that. I'm not talking about your door, but the door to Father's room, right? Between the time you confirmed he was in his room and the time we confirmed he wasn't, that door wasn't opened even once. How did Father get out if he didn't use the door?
I don't know that. That's what I want to know. Natsu-san, other than you, girls checked to see whether father was in his room. Last night, the last time I met Kinzo-san was when we were playing chess. So I was with him until just before dinner. Who saw him after that? I did. I gave him his dinner last night. Yes, Shannon and I were with him. So at that time, father was still definitely in his room. However, Natsu-san, when he found out he wasn't there, those like always in and out of the study were closed, right? But even so, you said you met with him this morning. I don't understand why everyone has become so gloomy. Could someone please explain it to me?
6 people have been murdered!
Father and Mother, are you saying that what Natsu says about being grandfather this morning was a lie?
Wait, what? Hold on, I have to scroll back up.
Do you need a recap?
Are you saying what Natsu says about meeting? Oh, right. I thought you said me and grandfather. And I was like, what?
No. About meeting.
Like hell, she'd lie about Beth. Mom's guiltless. Why would she lie?
Jessica, I keep telling you to watch your language.
What language did she use? Said guiltless.
Like hell.
Like hell.
There it is. High-class families have higher standards than us, you have to remember.
That's true.
They are better than us.
We are the scum of the earth.
It's true. Please continue.
All at once, the whole room was in an uproar.
Yeah, it was.
And Ava and Aunt Natsu confronted each other across the parlor table.
Oh, God.
With George confronting Jessica. What the heck's going on?
Everyone's fighting. There's been a murder and they're fighting. Come on.
Many people spotted him last night, right? But since this morning, there's only one who claims to have seen father as Natsuine-san. And there's that strange fact we learned from my receipt. So how can we connect these points together? And Ava urged everyone to imagine it. Sure, that receipt could become an important point, but I didn't know which other points to tie it to, or how. If we try searching for the answer Aunt Ava probably wants, we'll find that Aunt Natsui lied and acted as their grandfather was in the room this morning. Is that fact being exposed by a whim of Aunt Ava's? I don't get it at all. Why would Comrade Mom have to lie? She had no reason, right? That's what I want to know. But Jessica-chan, you can't be sure she had no reason to lie and say that grandfather was in the room. After all, you see it in mystery novels every now and then.
Like Higurashi.
Like Higurashi.
Yeah.
That trick where people fake the time of death to create an alibi for themselves. What are you talking about?
Oh, shit.
I've never heard of that. I don't read books.
Here comes the accusation.
We still haven't found father yet, but it's pretty natural to assume he's already been killed. If that's true, there's no doubt we'll find his corpse soon. If at that point the time of death could be cleverly faked, Natsuine-san would be able to create an alibi. You understand? Everyone? This morning when Aunt Natsui confirmed the grandfather was there, she lied. And he was already dead at that time. And she moved the body to some other location and tampered with it so that when we find it, we think he was killed just a second ago. And it make it possible for her to create an alibi, even just by saying with the rest of us. And she could say, I heard someone screaming, dash over there and become the first to find the body along with everyone else. The name is saying?
Ridiculous! After all, detective novels are merely books for the purpose of entertainment.
That's right.
Like Higurashi, you can only think of such an indiscreet idea because you've read them all the time.
That's right. I read them all the time and definitely did not just say that I did not.
What?
Even if she did try to fake the time of death a little, all that would be blown away in an instant once the police did their autopsy. That might have worked in the past, but do you really think that kind of trick would work in modern Japan? On an island where we were cut off in a self-contained story thanks to storm?
She'll be fine.
It doesn't make sense.
As soon as the police get here, after the storm passes, everything will be fine.
Everything will be fine.
Everything will be fine. And all the dead souls will be brought back to life.
That's right. So they'll be here for no reason. You think so? This morning when Dr. Nanjo looked at the corpse, he was unable to give a vague estimate of the time of death, right? Autopsy results are easily affected by the environment and individual differences. It's a very relative estimate with uncertainty of several hours. And unfortunately, I believe the scientific investigation will have to wait until tomorrow when the storm definitely will pass.
Yes.
It wouldn't be easy to measure the correct time of death so accurately, even in modern Japan. Modern China, though.
Different story.
Isn't that right, Dr. Nacho?
Examining a corpse is an extremely difficult task that requires both experience and instinct. I have heard that there is a very high chance of mistaken diagnosis. I imagine it's very possible for a misreading of just a few hours to occur. However, for an alibi, that's more than enough. It's an old trick. It's a trick that works well enough. Natsune-san, it's not like we want to suspect you, okay? We just want you to prove your innocence so we don't have to suspect you. What is this innocence you want me to prove?
Wait,
I have a fucking gun!
Did she have the gun in the last
Yes.
few shots?
She didn't have it out. This morning I definitely met with Father, and he told me to keep the one-winged eagle engraved in my heart. Are you denying that he said that too? I will certainly not permit that. I won't let you deny that Father said those words.
Or maybe Father's body won't appear anywhere. Normally a person has to be missing for 7 years before they're officially dead.
Oh, damn.
Wouldn't that be a clever way to extend Father's nearly finished life another 7 years and keep all of his wealth for yourself?
Fuck. I can't let you get away with saying that.
New images!
Check it out, fam. Yeah!
Oh!
Get that gun out! Oh my god. I can't let you get away with saying any more! I am Ushumi Onatsuhi! Although I do not have the right to wear the one-winged eagle on my body, it is certainly engraved on my heart! What do you think you're saying to the wife of Kraus' successor to the head, and the one who will act as such in his place?
What is this? Are you going to shoot me with that gun?
Yes!
Yes. Oh, is this how they tear them apart?
I don't know.
Please?
Great question. Keep going!
Go ahead. If only you'd just shoot.
Yeah!
Just desperate because you can't think of a way out, right? Do it. Just try to obscure the truth with violence.
Oh! You!
It wasn't like Natsui had been actually holding that gun at the ready, threatening anyone. But as she was egged on by Naniva, she did hold it at the ready. Unsurprisingly, once things got to this stage, Jessica and Genji-san tried to stop her. Emphasis on the word tried, it seems.
Madam, please calm yourself.
Mom, you aren't lying. There's no reason for you to listen to this.
Calm down, Natsui-san. All you've got to do is swear that Father definitely was in that room. Why are you getting so worked up? That is correct. Natsui-san isn't lying. Shouldn't that be the end of it?
And I want you to explain, how did Father manage to disappear from the room? The window was closed tight from the inside. The same was true for the door, right? This morning, if you really did meet with Father, then you must explain how Father disappeared from this unopenable door, closed room scenario.
Closed rooms. That's a funny term. Just continue.
What's funny about closed rooms?
Get used to that term. Anyway, it's fine.
If you don't, that'd mean you're lying after all, right?
How far do you plan to mock me?
If you want to argue back, go ahead, she says to the one with the fucking gun.
A fucking gun!
That's right, try explaining it right here, right now, with your fucking gun. If you
Sort of
do,
rifle.
I'll apologize for suspecting you. How did Father manage to get out from that closed room?
I cannot explain, and there is no need for me to do so.
Really? Then let me explain it. Let's take the best parts from my perspective and yours and come up with a more friendly explanation. Natsuhi with a fucking gun? I'll believe what you said about Father that's still being in his room this morning.
Her full name is Natsu Gun Shiramiya, I'm pretty sure.
However, the next time the door was opened, Father wasn't there. You don't have any objections so far, right?
I have no desire to hear anything more you have to say. Shut your frivolous mouth. Damn. Here we go.
That's a diagram.
That's a diagram of a closed room scenario. You better get used to these too.
I'm pretty sure we've already seen one of these with
We have,
the servants.
but this is a more, perhaps, explicit one.
I also love how really shit the image quality is on this one.
It's great. Alright, this is you.
My reasoning goes like this, okay? I can confirm or deny that on both occasions you were the only one to go through that door.
Little purple one.
The receipt proves it. So what's the answer to the puzzle of how Father left the room?
The black one.
The window. He was sent out the window. Natsuine-san, you threw Father out the third story of the study into the courtyard.
You!
Crank that soldier boy.
Madam, please, endure it. Eva-sama, please stop this. She's got a fucking gun.
After that, when you left and said you were going to check the doors and windows, you took Father's corpse, which had fallen in the courtyard, and hid it. That was probably when you took some measures to fake the time of death, right?
This ties in with the case regarding Kraus and the rest, and also the case regarding Beatrice last night. There's a really good chance we got reason to suspect Natsu-san in all those cases. Normally I wouldn't want to say this. But now that it's out in the open, there's nothing else I can do. Please, Natsu-san, please explain how you could be innocent. Otherwise, I can't help but suspect you.
With a gun.
With a fucking gun. Why me with my fucking gun? Why must I assume me and Natsu be insulted like this?
That was sudden.
Battler.
Looks like we've got everyone's views on record now.
Oh, yeah.
It's useless. It's all useless.
Ah, his catchphrase. Fuck yeah.
And Ava? What do you mean useless? Jessica looked up at me, hanging on to my every word. And Ava's expression was confident as ever. Useless, you say? What is?
This is so good.
Batlakun, tell me. You're only convinced it was Aunt Natsuhi because you're only looking at the case from a single angle. It's not like I'm defending her, but that bluff of a checkmate isn't gonna fly.
Damn!
If you think your reasoning regarding that receipt was passable, it's not a bad thread of logic. But I'd only give it a grade of 65 at the best.
Damn.
Out of about
Battler!
2,000.
Yeah.
And if this were an exam, that'd be bad enough to get you extra lessons in detention, right?
God damn it, Battler.
What a smug ass.
I love him.
Oh my. Well, how do you think anyone could break through the door sealed by my receipt and make Father disappear? Other than by my theory. It's true that your theory is an interesting one. And if you could say for sure that there was no way to make Grandfather disappear, then you probably would be able to prove that the last person to see him, and Natsuhi, was guilty. However, since there is still a possibility she's innocent, these accusations are false, we can't be sure about that. Then Batlakun, are you saying someone other than Natsuhi-san made Grandfather disappear? It'd be impossible for anyone else to do it. My receipt proved that, right? After all, the first time she visited that study, and until the second time when we visited together, the study was a perfect closed room, and the seal was broken on the closed room he was already missing. If that doesn't prove that she's the culprit, what kind of trick could they have used? Like I said, Aniva, only 65 points. So let's try spinning the chessboard around, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
The question isn't how someone managed to make Grandfather disappear from the outside. We should think about how Grandfather disappeared from the inside. The door had the receipt stuck in it, so it couldn't have been used. He also couldn't have gone through the window because... Hold on. Is he about to make the case that Grandfather is still in the room?
I don't know. I'd be looking for an on an eye.
Because you can't lock it from the outside. And when Aunt Ava visited the study, she checked to make sure it was locked. So the window also wasn't used. At that point, the study really was a closed room. We have to accept this.
So good.
However, the study didn't remain closed forever. Once the seal created by the receipt was removed. Why did the sound just cut out?
It did for me. That was weird.
Yeah, in other words, the question isn't how Aunt Natsuhi made Grandfather disappear. We need to think about how he was able to escape. Grandfather's study isn't an ordinary study, right? According to Genji-san, there's a toilet and a kitchen and even a bedroom, almost like a little house. For example, what if he was hiding under the bed and the two of you only thought he was missing? And Ava, you didn't even check that far, right? And the two of you went back downstairs thinking he wasn't there. At that time, the receipt was already gone. In other words, if Grandfather was hiding in his room the whole time, it was a closed room. He escaped after letting the two of you go past him, and he can crack this closed room right open. What are you talking about?
You crazy person.
Why would Father need to escape the room in such a bizarre fashion? That would be so absurd. Yeah, it might be absurd. However, it still shows that there's a possibility Aunt Natsui is being falsely accused. Your receipt wasn't perfect. In chess, we might call that check. But it isn't checkmate. The thing that really pisses me off is how you're pressuring Aunt Natsui to explain it and then claiming she must be guilty if she doesn't. If you want to go down that road, why don't you let me? Assuring me about, let's spin the chessboard around one more time.
Oh!
Did he just refer to himself in the third person?
He totally did.
And even according to your own argument, you must explain to us why you and Uncle Hideyoshi couldn't have killed those 6 last night and then casually returned to the guest house.
Oh, damn.
You've been trying to force Aunt Natsui to explain. So I'm sure you can prove your own innocence, right? Especially now that all of Grandfather's wealth has been suddenly plopped down right into your hands.
As the head of the Yoshimiya family.
That's right, you're suspicious enough yourself, aren't you? If you say Comrade Mom's suspicious because she was the last person to see him, And what about you, Comrade Antifa, the last person to see Comrade dead and the rest?
And the comrade rest.
Just like Comrade Bettler said, prove that you two weren't the only ones who killed it.
Mother, I also think your reasoning was a little over-ego. I'm sure the receipt was an important hint, but like Batley said, there's not enough to prove that Aunt Nazi was responsible for some plot. We're all equally suspicious. It's not right for only Aunt Nazi to be persecuted.
Our father crawling under his bed? You call nonsense like that an explanation? In that case, why don't you explain first? Who killed those 6 and how, then try show us the proof that you weren't involved.
Oh god. Ooh. That's Jessica making ooh sounds. She's having a giant coughing fit.
What?
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 The fuck just happened?
She's having coughing sounds. We've discussed this. She has asthma problems.
But why is there an ooh in the middle of it? That makes me so suspicious.
I'm sure it's fine. Don't worry about it. She doesn't secretly have a second personality of Maria inside her.
Ah!
It's fine.
This is
Milady.
Jessica suddenly started coughing. First I thought she was just choking after yelling too loud, but before long I realized how painful it looked. Jessica kept coughing and choking down her hands and knees.
Get her inhaler. Oh my god. Jessica, hang in there. Dr. Nanjo. Jessica-san, your inhaler, quickly. No, wait, I have one with me.
Dr. Nanjo pulled a bronchodilator inhaler from his own bag, which was lying on the sofa, and handed it to Jessica.
Nice.
Come to think of it, 6 years ago, didn't Jessica sometimes break into violent coughing fits and have to use that? I don't think we've established it yet.
We have. She's talked about how she had coughing fits. When they were talking about how Jessica and Battler used to wrestle.
Right.
And Jessica would, like, beat him.
Sure,
or
I
have
don't
problems
remember
with
it,
that.
but I'll trust you.
I don't know the exact details, but they did talk about it. And you
However,
were like,
6 years
it won't have any
ago, I never
relevance.
saw Jessica look like she was in this much pain. Aniki, was Jessica's asthma always this bad?
It's gotten a lot worse these last few years. It's no problem when she's normal. When an attack comes suddenly, she can't stop coughing anymore.
I'm just not going. No, don't, Ben, please.
What?
You're already unwell. Don't make it
I am
worse.
unwell, it's fine.
Faking coughing is bad.
Alright. Milady, your medicine. Here. You could just say cough, cough.
I could, but it's more fun for me to go.
Alright.
Taking an inhaler from Cannonkin, Jessica used it with a practiced hand. It looked like her throat would still itch for a while, but she had it under control. You okay, Jessica? You scared me. It's no big deal. Don't worry about it. Beads of sweat covered Jessica's whole body, and she couldn't hide her rough breathing, but it looked like her sudden attack had calmed down for now. This disturbance in the force had made the dangerous atmosphere up until now seem slightly unfocused.
God damn it. This is convenient.
But that's fine. That kind of battle of mutual suspicion is completely unnecessary. When you think about it, finding alibis for each other and looking for the culprit is probably meaningless. After all, we're just powerless, ordinary people, and when the police come tomorrow, they'll definitely employ cutting-edge techniques and investigate the case thoroughly. Solving all of the riddles and arresting the culprit. And I thought that sentence was going to continue, but it didn't.
It's fine.
Perhaps Batlekun is right after all. Just as Natsui-san is suspicious, I can't ignore the fact that I'm suspicious too. Arguing about that now will surely be unproductive.
What?
What?
I mean, unproductive. That entire argument that I just had was pretty unproductive. Like, whatever.
Everything will be fine if we just leave it to the police tomorrow.
She's such a bitch.
I know.
I love her, though.
It's great.
Marry me.
But don't you want to know too, Batlekun? Who the culprit is? Don't you want to let them know the pain you feel from losing someone precious to you as soon as possible?
Yeah, both your parents. Well, I mean, stepmom, to be fair.
I won't deny that. Even one day would be too long to let the wonderful bastard who's behind this go. But that doesn't mean I want to suspect one of the 18. Even though I said what I said earlier, I don't even want to suspect you, Aunt Ava. To me, you're an awesome aunt who's always fun and playful and doesn't abuse George, ever.
Doesn't.
I don't want to trade insults with an aunt like that. Wouldn't want to do that with anyone here. Right? Everyone?
Everyone? We're all on board, right? I feel the same way as Batlekun.
Hold on, let's count the dots.
8, I think?
I think so.
Maybe 9.
That was a good count.
Close. It's pointless to trade insults. It's probably just the stress built up. Because so many people have been crammed in one place since morning. Also, there were 6 people murdered last night.
Also, there were 6 people murdered.
Probably. It's only natural. It may not be my place to say it, but I think we should all relax as much as possible. Or...
Holy shit, this chapter is long.
It's great. A lot of important stuff in here. Ava, I think we'd better cool our heads too. The receipt's definitely a big clue for figuring out how Father disappeared. We should tell the police about it when they come.
That's right. Right. I just felt a little triumphant when I figured out that part with the receipt. Of course, it isn't fair to only suspect Natsuine-san, right? But just the suspicious.
Oh.
Still a Batlacun. At least the part about the receipt is real, okay? Don't forget it. And try thinking deeply about what it means one more time, okay? It sounds so forced. It's so suspicious.
It is a little suspicious, isn't it? I don't know. I'm going to confirm or deny Aunt Ava being suspicious.
I think we can confirm. Definitely confirm.
Maybe you can. I'm sticking by my guns, sir. Anyway.
Are we just going to get to the end of this book? And it's going to be like, well, there's the answer right there on the page in front of us, and you'll be like, I can neither confirm nor deny that which says it is the answer is the answer.
I can't wait for the final episode when I say that I can either confirm or deny that this is what just happened. I can't wait for that. It's gonna be so good.
This is foreshadowing right now.
I'm excited. Anyway, we have a Nazi woman with dots, so...
Dots.
Yeah. Oh, that's it.
And Ava and Uncle Hideyoshi stood up.
Yep.
Looked like they planned on leaving the parlor. In the end, it's pointless for us to keep playing detectives. And after all, the police will reveal everything anyway.
Yep.
That's right. Even if we don't play this detective game, the typhoon will pass. And when those lively seagulls return to the harbor, everything will settle itself.
When the seagulls cry?
Oh, God! That's right, if you think about it, this kind of crime is completely trivial!
Trivial. No
6
witches.
people were murdered!
Don't worry about it. It's fine. Battlers this in denial. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
It will definitely be resolved.
It's so good.
Even if we do nothing.
It's so good because he's our protagonist. He's a detective and he's like, I'm sure it's fine. I don't need to solve this mystery. It's fine. It's so good.
Batland,
no. There it is! Say it!
The seagulls cry.
Oh, fuck. Oh! You gotta leave us hanging? You gotta leave us hanging.
Son, I take it you don't want to see my face anymore. I feel the same. If I remember correctly, yesterday, you had some rooms prepared for us in the mansion so that we wouldn't need to go back to the guest house, right? Those should each have a bath and a toilet as well as a lock and chain to secure the door. There's even a bed to lie on, and my husband will be able to watch TV without having to fight Maria-chan over which channel to watch, right?
It's a good plan.
She picked up the shotgun again!
Do whatever you want. Like Amy at their bags. Do whatever you want. But make sure to be cautious.
Thank you, Nesa. And mind your own business. Damn. Oh!
Damn.
I'll be counting on you to keep an eye on everyone, okay? Because the culprit is definitely here. And Nason, make sure you don't forget to keep an eye on yourself, too.
Ooh. Have you finished taking your parting shots?
Yes, I'm finished. See you, Natsuine-san. Genji-san, let us know when it's time for dinner.
I love her.
Until then, we'll lock ourselves in with the chain.
Dots.
Dots.
Genji, Cannon. Escort them to the guest room.
Murder them there. We'll be fine. I hate shady escorts. In fact, it'd be more comfortable if nobody leaves this room until we reach ours. Let's go, George. I can't wait for them to be murdered.
Yeah, because she, Ava suspects the servants, right? She suspects, like, that all 5 servants are in on it, or something.
At this point, I'm assuming Ava suspects everyone except herself.
That's also true. That's probably true. Ava is a suspicious person. Anyway. I'll stay here with everyone.
George, the culprit is in this room. You plan on staying in a place like that?
Leaving this room would be the same as suspecting one of my relatives. I can't believe anyone in our family is capable of something that horrible.
George, darling, you tell him too.
George is already an adult man. If his code tells him not to leave this room, then it's up to him.
Wrecked!
Let him do what he wants.
Riggedy wrecked!
Father. Is that door?
Why is that the door sound?
Oh, God.
Someone needs to fucking oil these hinges.
Fix those doors.
Ugh.
Please, I think.
And April and Uncle Hideyoshi left.
Oh
The only voice that called after them was the sound of the rain.
God.
The parlor was being buried beneath the savage atmosphere. When I looked at the clock, I was surprised to find that it was already evening. We really spent that much time worrying about needless things!
Yeah.
Like 6 people dying,
Yeah.
talking with each other, fighting with each other. Feeling bored, I started scratching in my head when Maria and I made eye contact.
Oh.
Shit. I was a little surprised because I thought she was completely immersed in the TV. I believe it now.
Who?
The letter, the murders, everything, it was all Beatrice. In fact, I almost feel like begging her to come out and take credit for it all. I want it to be the work of a 19th person. Otherwise, the 18 of us will have to keep on suspecting each other. I think believing in the 19th person is better than that. Bringing grandfather outside without opening the doors and windows must be a piece of cake for Beatrice, right? Maria, after taking a single short breath, hung her head and then raised her face again. Here it is.
That's right.
There's the wind. I hear the wind.
Locking a door is useless against a witch. Beatrice is familiar with all 72 demons.
All 72 of them.
The 33rd ranked Garp gives the power to instantly carry the desired person to any location. To her, taking a person out of any closed room isn't hard at all, you see?
I really want to know what code of black magic there are 72 demons, of which the 33rd is called Garp.
There are some, like these are...
I assume it's based off
It is based
something.
off some stuff. We'll probably go into that after the end of this episode.
I just feel like it's strangely specific.
Specific? Yeah, that's totally true. All that Maria's talking about is like very specific. Anyway, Oh,
Witches sure are incredible. Tell her, if she feels like committing another crime, do it in a way that no human could. And make me believe that a 19th person, no, a witch exists.
Okay. If I meet her, I'll tell her. Oh shit.
I'm interested by the choice of if.
If.
Crap. Nothing's made sense to me for a while now. Just when I want to believe the 19th person, I deny it. And just when I want to believe there are only 18, I deny that too. Even though I want there to be more than just the 18 people here, I can't accept the existence of that 19th person. In short, even though there are more than 18 people, there are less than 19 people. What? The number of people in this mansion is 19 is greater than X is greater than 18.
Yeah, this is his maths for like figuring out whether or not there's a 19th person.
That's very peculiar.
Yeah. There's actually a phenomenon, well, not a phenomenon, I guess. It's a scientific thing. It's called Schrodinger's cat.
I am well aware with Schrodinger's cat.
But there may or may not exist in the cat box, as it were, a 19th person. So by his logic here, the witch is the person halfway between 18 and 19.
I see.
Yeah. If that makes any sense to you.
It makes lots of sense to me. I was familiar with Schrodinger's cat. I was not aware that that was the way to mathematically represent it.
Schrodinger's cat, that's it. 19 is greater than X is greater than 18. That's how you represent the cat.
At least I'm assuming what that summary amounted to.
Something like that, yeah.
So the number of people can't be represented by an integer. Can't wait for him to bring up Schrodinger's cat like in the next 4 panels.
I hope so.
However, it's impossible for there to be anything after the decimal point. You shouldn't be able to show the number of people with anything but an integer. And yet, 19 is greater than X is greater than 18. How do you explain the fraction less than 1?
I'm hoping so much.
It's no wonder. The 19th person was something that couldn't be seen. That's why, since you can only write the number of people as an integer, you couldn't see that person. Which cannot be seen, because Beatrice has no body, and therefore she is invisible. Is there a 19th person or not? Does the witch exist or not? 19 is greater than X is greater than 18. Which exists somewhere in that X. Wow.
Harsh tokes.
This is still going. Oh wait, no, it's over. that was
The clock is moving.
That was
It's a little bigger than before. That's a bit weird.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. Anyways, I'm sure it's fine.